Agbodovi. Very, very powerful ever songs. I enjoy this praise so much, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Anyway, we'll get into our roundtable discussion right about now. Today we're talking about something very important. You know, when we talk about breast cancer, most of the time we focus on the physical. The physical, talk about the diagnosis, the treatment, and the recovery. But there's another side that is just as important, which is the emotional and psychological journey that people go through. Now, for many people, the moment they hear the word cancer, it changes everything about them. There's fear, there's anxiety, uncertainty, and sometimes even depression. And on top of that, treatments can also affect confidence. It can affect relationships and even how one sees themselves. And that is why it's very important. So today we want to have a very honest conversation about that side of the story, the emotional weight, and how people find strength to keep going. And joining me are two amazing guests. We'll start with one, then the other one will probably join us later. And we're going to unpack the psychological and emotional impact of breast cancer, and most importantly, how patients and their loved ones can actually cope and heal through it all. I have in studio with me now Lady Justina Owu-Agyiri. She's a counselor and psychologist with the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, and will later be joined by Dr. Isaac Newman Arthur, who is a medical director at UPSC and a clinical psychologist. Lady Justina, good morning. You're welcome to the Business Breakfast on Z.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Right. Great. Good to see you. Now, we're going to get into the conversation very, very, very soon. But I see that you're wearing the Breast Cancer Awareness Month shirt. Yes. How important is breast cancer awareness really from where you sit before we get into our conversation?
Okay. Thank you so much. Breast cancer awareness is very crucial.
Right.
Very crucial in that I'm a Christian, so if I go that way, you bear with me.
Okay.
From the good book, the Bible says that for lack of knowledge, we will perish. So awareness here means we want everybody to know what is it, how it comes, what you should do, what you can do, should it come your way, so that it wouldn't feel like you are lost. Once you have knowledge about it, you know who to go to, where to go to, when to act, so that it wouldn't get too late. And once everybody around those who highlights breast, I'm using those who highlight breast because as a woman, I have more breast than a man.
Absolutely.
Even though both of us may suffer, women are at a higher risk. Because of our emotional and then our makeup. So when the men around us, our brothers, our fathers, our boyfriends, our husbands, our concubines, our acquaintances are aware of what is likely we're going to go through, then they will also support and help us. Because the breast is the meal everybody has enjoyed and gives life.
Absolutely. Yeah, great. So I like how you explained that, which I think it's very important that we pay attention to it. But one trend that I've seen is that we don't pay attention to it quite much within the whole year. And then when it's just the month, then we tend to pay attention to it, which I know will be quite pronounced because it's a month thing. Yeah, but I think we need to also spread it across. Let's continue to talk about it as much.
Then I give it to you,
as
the media houses.
Yeah.
So if you call me in the month of February to come and talk about breast cancer, I don't think I'll say I won't come.
Right.
So we should factor, in fact, that's the fact.
Yeah.
We should factor it into our primary health care. If we're talking about other diseases, it should be part.
Absolutely.
We shouldn't wait till, because after the month, some people forget, when the euphoria and the enthusiasm surrounding it goes down, people tend to forget it is there. But everyday conversation, it should be part. That's why I'll come here to talk about it.
But thanks so much for coming. All right, so let's get into our conversation this morning. We're looking at the psychological and emotional impact of breast cancer. When we talk about that, what exactly does it mean in practical terms, the emotional and psychological impact of breast cancer?
Okay, thank you for the question. Let me take it from here. Breast cancer or chronic diseases, let me put it that way, are not just physical and biological. So we have what we call biopsychosocial factors. You see that biological, psycho, the mind, and then the social factors.
Right.
And whenever we are focusing on emotions and psychological issues, we are looking at the psychosocial bit of it.
Okay.
So we're looking at how do we process? What does the man do? So it's about thinking,
Right.
feeling, and behavior.
Right.
Then connections. These are the 4 things we're looking at when we're talking about psychological effect or emotional effect. We're looking about how you think about it, how you feel about it, how you behave about it, and the connection. That's how you relate or other people around you. So that's the focus for the discussion.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
all.
Absolutely.
The psychological, that's all that we're talking about.
So why is it important that we talk about the emotional and psychological part of it?
So whenever diagnoses are made, the first thing is to communicate to the patient. And the question is, how will the patient perceive or understand what the medical...
Receive it.
Yes, receive that. How is the person receiving it? So that is the thinking bit. So you have breast cancer. How is it? You know, you can understand so many things go through the thinking at the time this news is given to you. Now, after thinking about it, it affects how you feel. How do you feel about knowing that you have breast cancer? And most people think it's a death sentence. It's because of how they are perceiving, how they are processing the information. Then it affects the way you behave it. So once you think you have a death warrant, now you start behaving in a certain way. That those who haven't heard the news will see that the person is changing. So your thought is affecting your feeling, and your feeling is affecting your behavior. Now the social connection comes in. Once you put up certain behavior, the way you connect, the way you relate with others is also affected. So now you wake up and you don't feel like talking to anybody. So you prefer staying indoors because you've been told you have breast cancer. Meanwhile, it's not infectious. But because of how you're thinking about it, now you call back or you become so aggressive. You are annoying such that everybody irritates you. Meanwhile, those people did not receive the news. Now they start pulling back, because they don't want to offend you. They don't want to hurt you. They don't want you to scream at them. They don't want that your moody attitude any longer. So you see how just the news of you having your diagnosis is hooking up to your whole world.
Right. And I understand that. I mean, psychologists, you people have something that you say that it's not about what happened to you, but how you think about or how you feel about.
So in this case, I will start from the medical officers, the professionals. How is the message communicated to the patient is the key. So let me go back again. How the test process is beginning. So now we are screening, which is very good. But are we factoring psychological bit to the screening? So we have what we call pre-test and post-test therapy or counseling. So before you go in for the test, you come, and as a psychologist, I'll break the process down to you such that you understand it just like a baby will understand. So now you know what to expect, and if what you're expecting come to be, what to do. And all that matters. Then we go and do the screening. That alone saves how you feel about your diagnosis. Now, after the test is done, your results is communicated to the psychologist to give it back to you. So sometimes the medics, sometimes the body language, they are giving you hope, and their body language is not expressing hope. But the psychologist is trained such that we are able to do that, and it minimizes the effect. You see, our emotions go a long way to affect our biological health, our physical health. Because when your immunity breaks down, no treatment will work. And it starts from how you feel. If you are so negative, it breaks down your immune system, no matter how well you are eating. So that's the point. This is where we, the professionals, have to set up and do that correction. so that we can help our patients.
But in the hospitals, do you psychologists have like connections with the various hospitals in Ghana and communicating some of these things to the patients?
Now we are growing.
Okay.
Psychology is new in our part of the world, as in practicing psychology. It's new to our health system. So some facilities have it, but not all, especially the public and some private have it.
Right.
But the issue is, come what may, a nurse or a doctor know one or two psychologists.
Okay.
You can fall on them. Sometimes it's not about even getting the psychologist to do it. We can coach you, the medical officer, to communicate it well.
Right.
So I have in the practice we serve as a consultant. So you come, my patient have this, that. Then the then communicate this way, say it that way, do it that way. It helps. But when you, the patient too, your health matters. So when you walk to a facility, ask for, I want to talk to a psychologist. If you don't, you can't say the psychologist, I want to talk to somebody. And they understand, health professionals understand it when you say, I want to talk to somebody.
Right.
And they'll hook you up to a psychologist. If you can straightforward ask, I want to talk to a psychologist. Before you go in for the test, every test, though I'm talking about breast cancer, but almost every significant
HIV,
any test significant one you have to go. You yourself request for. If they don't give you,
okay. So if you have a personal psychologist too, then you can actually fall on them. Right. Okay. Very important. I like that bit of it. Now, from your experience, what is the most common emotional response people have immediately after receiving a breast cancer? See, I want to center it around breast cancer, a breast cancer diagnosis.
All right. So being diagnosed of breast cancer is no more biological. Now, once the news is given to you, it becomes psychological, mind work, body work, and spiritual.
Right.
Because we believe in something, regardless of where we're coming from. So these are the connections. So people usually, the first thing is you deny.
Okay.
It's not true. As for me, it can't be.
Have it.
Or you are angry.
Okay, why people get angry immediately they are told?
Yes.
I see.
Not that they are angry at the medics, but they are angry about the situation, internalized. They tend to ask questions. Why should it be me? Why this time? What did I do? What haven't I done? I have been visiting the hospital. These questions runs through their thinking. Now it comes to almighty finances. So because we don't have much knowledge, if I say we don't have much knowledge, we as individuals are not learning or not reading about cancer, breast cancer, and all that. So we mostly think we can't get help. I mean, like I said in the intro, it's a death sentence. So I'm coming to die. But if you know that it comes with stages, and each stage and what we can do,
right,
then it is not a death sentence. But because you don't know, or inadequate information, or you don't even have the time, the doctor doesn't have the time for you to ask the questions you want to ask, then it breaks you. So it is not the cancer that is killing you, but your lack of knowledge and your inability to know what next or something is possibly can be done is what is breaking you.
Right.
And these things you can talk to the psychologist about it. Even if it's finances. I can't give you money, but I can guide you where to get resources from. Then it comes to affect your belief. You know, we've been brainwashed that if you're a believer, you are not supposed to go through certain which is not, it's a false teaching. Because the Bible says that the believer's temptation is higher than the unbeliever. And to test your faith. So when these things come, they tend to believe that God has forsaken them. God has forsaken them. Or they are disappointed at whatever they believe in. This makes it difficult for them to accept. You know, once you accept that, yes, this is it, one next, it's a very good way to start the journey. But once you are denying, you are angry, you are asking the questions that won't solve the problem, then we tend to waste much time. Another point is also that we are not the kind of people who would often walk to a hospital and ask questions or request for important tests. So in most cases, we are diagnosed when it has gotten to a certain stage that makes it serious or dangerous.
I see. Right. Okay. We are joined now by Dr. Isaac Newman. Arthur, I want to bring him into the conversation so that we can continue. Hello? Hello, Doc. Hello?
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Doc, how are you doing?
I'm stressed, but I'm okay.
Sorry about that. I mean, you know what to do. You're a psychologist, so yeah, I'm sure.
I know what to do.
Yeah.
It's not easy like that.
All right. Anyway, it's a pleasure to be talking to you this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we started a conversation. We're trying to just set the tone, understanding exactly what we're talking about when we say the psychological and emotional impact of breast cancer and what exactly it means in practical terms. And Lady Justina has actually helped us understand exactly what it is. Maybe we can also bring you in talking about the I'm sure you listened to part of her last response, right?
Yes.
Okay.
My greetings to her.
All right.
Yes, Doc. Just I miss you.
As well. Oh, miss you.
I miss you, Dr. Newman.
Is it you?
I'm sure we'll meet at the conference.
Yes, very sure.
All right. Yeah, Doc. So tell us also from where you sit, from your experience, what is the most common emotional response that people have immediately after receiving a breast cancer diagnosis, from where you sit?
Well, I think that the first one is, I will not say, maybe I'll start with doubt or shock.
Okay.
And I would say it cautiously, because before someone comes for that diagnosis, that is what they are thinking about. So when a woman doesn't just come to the hospital and say, check my breast, they usually would have noticed something in the breast. They would be suspecting it's breast cancer. And so the news put them in some state of shock.
Yeah.
Right. So that may be the initial response. And again, that may lead to all kinds of anxiety problems. But you think about it for you. How would that diagnosis make you feel? you become very, 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 very anxious.
Yeah.
It's like very anxious, confused, and you'll be in the state of denial also, right? Depending on what you believe in, you may start bargaining with God. Reverse it, take this cup away from me. It cannot be me. That kind of thing. So you are. It's like multiple emotions at the same time: shock, doubt, anxious. You are worried. You are concerned about the outcome, and all kinds of things, right? And it also depends on who broke the news and how the news was broken and stuff like that. Breaking news is one of the major areas that we even have to be trained about as medical professionals. Unfortunately, some people don't do it well, so it creates all kinds of problems for people.
So, right. Okay. The same things Lady Justina also talked about a few minutes ago. But I'm curious, how does the emotional experience differ from person to person? Say, between the younger people and older women, younger women and older women, and also maybe even between men and women. How does it differ?
Yeah, well, I would say that men and women, men are not likely to be analytical with events. Women are likely to be more emotional. If you tell a man something, they're likely to analyze it, reason things out, to look at the pros and cons, whatever. So men are more likely to be more analytical than emotional. Women are likely to be more emotional about things, right? Then again, also, you may find that women are likely to use emotion-focused based kind of coping mechanisms, right? So a woman is likely to go talk about it, cry about it, and all that. Men are likely to use problem-focused approach. they are more likely to do this happen. What is the way forward? A woman is likely to brood over it, cry over it, talk about it first before they come to that conclusion. And again, the response is dependent on the person's coping strategies and their level of resilience over time. If you have lived with bad news all your life, another bad news is one of those things.
Yeah.
But if everything has gone very, very well with you, life has been a bit more cooler with you, and that kind of response comes, it actually has a major kind of blow to you. Then again, too, it depends on your social support system, right? If you have a lot of support systems, people around to help you navigate through, it's kind of easier to accept bad news than someone who has nobody. And again, too, also depends on your expectations about life and the responsibilities that you have. So if you have someone who they feel she feels that a lot more people depend on her kids, her community, whatever, the news like that is a big thing. Because usually people are not thinking about themselves, but everybody who is connected to them. It can also be a very, very, very big thing that can affect the person's responses. Then again, sometimes religious coping is one of the emotion-based coping strategies. If you have someone who really, really is into God and spirituality and stuff like that, it can either be positive or negative, right? If someone feels that, okay, God is with me, I am the head, not the tail, healing is possible, I can go through this because I believe in the Lord Jesus, all kinds of those are positive ways of coping. Right.
Okay.
People are able to feel better about it and go through pain better.
Right.
But if you have, on the flip side, if they start thinking negatively about it, God, why me? You have disappointed me. They start blaming themselves, feel very, very guilty about themselves. It actually becomes worse. And again, if people assign all kinds of spiritual or religious meanings to why it is happening, right? Maybe I've done something wrong. God is trying to punish me. I'm being cursed, or I've done something wrong, or there's some
witches in your family,
and all kinds of things. It actually affects their responses. All these things will influence the approach they use in dealing with things.
Right.
Because if the first thinking is spiritual, they are likely to go to a spiritual place for help. And that is what can even cause some of the delays in seeking help. So you may find someone go and apply all kinds of things to their breast, drink all kinds of concoctions, do all kinds of things before you realize they are in an advanced stage of the disease before they come to the hospital. Right? So it depends on their value systems, their religious belief systems. The responses are totally different. Right? When it comes to someone who is younger, usually when the person is young, how they process information is not as good as someone who is an adult. Right, so the impact on them may not be as much as the impact on someone who's more older. Right, usually younger people are more carefree than those who are older. They may not have a lot more responsibilities than those who are older, right? And so the interpretations of things may not be as much as someone who is older, right? And again, too, if you are younger, you are likely to be in a state of denial that this cannot be breast cancer. Because people feel that younger people may not even have breast cancer. But you find out that more than 25% of breast cancers can be found in people who are below 50 years, right? And so it's not just for older people. You can find it in younger populations. So a host of things, but you may find clear differences between males and females.
Okay. Right. I like how you break that down, Doc. But how do you, what would you say? Would you say that the shock of diagnosis is often more distressing than even the treatment?
Hey, all of them. All of them. I won't try to say one is more than the other. It depends on how the health professionals who are approaching it. So, for example, if someone who knows how to break bad news breaks the news, the impact may be lower than someone who doesn't.
Okay.
And again, if right from the beginning, some level of counseling and education and psychological support is provided, it makes the treatment a bit more bearable, right? And so, but unfortunately, you find a lot of the cases, a doctor may break in the news in a very, very straightforward, bad way, and no psychologist assigned to the patient. The patient has to actually go through the thing by him or herself. It's not an easy journey at all.
Yeah.
Right. Because to go for reviews, and you know, when they say, oh, go to pathology, they will take a sample. What do you call it? After they will give us the news. The waiting period alone to find out the type of the cancer, the stage of the cancer, hey, it's not easy at all. You see, that anticipation of a worse outcome, we call it catastrophizing. It's not easy at all, right? And so right from the beginning, a psychologist or a counselor must be involved. Right from, sometimes it's even better for the counselor or psychologist to be the one to break the bad news, right? And they follow through with the management. You know, you should be going for psychotherapy, you know, frequently with the psychologist right through. Because really, sometimes a medical doctor, usually it's the surgeons who are in charge of breast cancer issues, right? They will tell you, okay, you have breast cancer, but we need to stage it. And depending on the stage and the type of breast cancer, we will know what to do. That may be the only news. So that woman going through all those processes is anxious, is worried, has doubts in their mind. If they are not able to handle those things well, they may go into some kind of depressive problems, right? Maybe that woman also have an underlying mental health condition. It makes it worse, right? Then from there, when the news, the type of cancer and the stage, right, comes up, the management, you know, either radiation therapy or immunotherapy, or they will do chemotherapy, mastectomy, and all those things, right? And throughout that process, the woman has to go to the hospital for admissions, you know, cycles of chemotherapy. She will start feeling some symptoms, hair loss, and all kinds of things. And this thing also affects a person's identity, because in our part of the world, breast is a big thing, hair is a big thing, and a woman is going to use all at some point. It's not easy at all.
Not easy. Right. I'll be bringing Lady Justina into the conversation very soon, and we'll talk about because you're a counselor as well, and so we'll look at that part of the whole thing, the identity bit of it. But let me just announce the phone lines just in case somebody's listening to us and may want to ask any question or join the conversation. Yeah, if you're tuning, this is Business Breakfast on ZED 101.9 FM with me, Nii Trebi Hammond. And this morning on our roundtable discussion, we're talking about the psychological and emotional impact of breast cancer. And we'd love to hear from you. If you're listening this morning, you want to ask any question, please send us a WhatsApp on 054432 1019 0544321019, and we'll read your messages for you. You can as well send us a voice note with your questions, your comments, and contributions, and we'll read them. We'll play them for you as well. And you can call us on 0303956641, 0303956641, and we'll give you the opportunity to share your thoughts with us this morning. We're streaming live on Facebook at ZFMGH and also on YouTube at Z Multimedia. Those are platforms where you can drop a comment and we'll also read them for you. All right, Doc, just before I come to Lady Justina, what are the most common mental health issues that usually emerge or that tend to emerge during the treatment? Is it anxiety? Is it depression?
So there are two common ones. Stress, the stress of management itself and the progression of the disease. Stress is one of them. 2, anxiety is one of them. 3, depression. Those are the 3 critical ones. Then you may have identity problems. But realize that if the person had an underlying mental health issues, it just becomes worse. Again, coping. Some people may go into substance abuse, depending on what their coping strategies are.
Right.
Yes, but those 3 things are key. It runs through at every stage.
Okay, let me bring Lady Justina into the conversation now. Now, Doc was trying to talk about the appearance, the changes in appearance and all of that, especially after the mastectomy and or hair loss from chemotherapy and all of that. How does that affect self-esteem and identity, really?
Okay, thank you so much. So we are Africans and Ghanaians.
Yeah.
The whole issue is our socialization.
Okay.
and how we loosely, for lack of information and knowledge, the way we speak about certain things without knowing what we're supposed to know.
Right.
So you are growing up, even they tell you that to put on a certain cloth, you need to put up a certain shape, and your breasts go a long way to make you feel beautiful. So it's like you are beautiful because you have a breast. Yes, but not beautiful, because you are intelligent. That's how our socialization is. So that is the beginning. So if I'm going to lose my breast, is my husband going to accept me? Is my family going to see me as still a woman? Because there are women who have less breast, and people use it against them.
Right.
So all these things, and either you've seen or you've heard or you've been told about somebody who is being used, or these things being used against the person. So it's at the back of your mind. So the brain is so funny. It keeps those information. But when you get to a certain stage, it replays it to you. Now you are asking these questions. I'm not the same person because I don't have breast. But ideally, your breast doesn't define you, because it takes your brains that moves your arms.
Right.
But we don't care about your brains, but we care about your arms.
Yeah.
That is how we are socialized. So you're looking at what others' concerns are, but not you living. So my issue is, if one breast or your breasts are taken and you stay 10 years more on earth, is it not better than you having your breast and within a year you are gone? But because of the way we are socialized, we don't ask those questions. We don't analyze these things. So we just go straight forward. Then people will not see me as a woman again. My husband is going to leave me. If they are not married, then no man is coming to approach me or will marry me. Because these are the things you hear around you. So now the thoughts, now you feel you are not a woman enough. So even your appearance, you yourself don't have the mood, the anxiety and the depression set in, such that you don't feel like dressing like the woman you are supposed to be, putting on your usual bra, because after all, my breast is, we have all these thinking.
I see.
Now people who hear the news also start making certain comments, like Doc said, makes you feel like you have committed a crime, you've sinned against God, you've done someone wrong, and the person has done something to you. This is our social environment that influence things that we think about. But we can't just sit and say that it's a disease that can happen to anybody and it has happened to me. Because of how we are brought up, we struggle to get to that conclusion. So we tend to blame people because this person didn't do that I went to the hospital, blah, blah. Then it's frustrating and the stress set in.
Right. So socialization is actually a big problem.
Big issue.
Yeah, and I don't think it's just you said it's Ghana and Africa and all. I think it goes way back.
It goes way
even in the Bible, there was a time Jesus and the disciples were passing and they saw a young boy who was blind, and the disciples asked that who sinned, that this guy, So I think it goes way back.
Yeah, but others are better than. So you go somewhere in Europe, in the Americas, and the first person to speak to is the doctor, is the lawyer, But here, the first person we speak to be sincere. Who? you get it. Even when they go and the doctor tells them diagnosis, they will go and ask, I don't want to mention them for them to say I'm attacking them.
Yeah.
Because I have had a patient that person said that.
Please feel free, mention. Yeah, feel free. Don't hold back.
That the pastors and the spiritual leaders I'm talking about. The person has been diagnosed of something that could take medication and live. But the pastor says, don't. If you accept and take the medication, it means you've accepted the sickness.
The condition.
But the point is, if you accept or not, it is there. And medications are there to help you. I keep telling people that of late, everybody is taking one medication or the other. Not because they are sick.
True.
We have supplements. And you are okay taking it every morning, every afternoon, every evening. But take this one so that you can handle a condition and live longer. You said you can't accept it because God forbid. No, these are diseases that happen. Up to now, we can't pinpoint one thing that causes cancer and that of breast cancer. So until we are able to tell, we are managing. And it can happen to anybody.
At all.
Men are also
susceptible.
yes. But women have it more. I just want you to know that it can happen to anybody. The believer, the unbeliever, the atheist, the traditionalist, whatever. So we should be careful. And like Doc said, this prolong the process. So if I have to give you a shot within 30 minutes, and now you're going to consult your family, your pastor, and then it becomes 2 hours, and the sickness is still not the same as I saw it from day one.
It continues to get worse with time.
Progress.
I see. Right. So, but let's talk about how it affects relationships. You mentioned people thinking about their husbands and all of that. How does breast cancer really affect those intimate relationships or even marriages, both emotionally and psychologically?
Thank you so much for that question. Socially, we belong to people that we are attracted to. So you have girls group that you belong to. Now you have your own issues. And back to socialization. We are trained not to talk about certain issues. So I belong to the society, I have this problem, and I mustn't share. Because if I share, I am weak. If I share, all those myths. So you keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Now, because you are anxious, you are depressed, you don't feel belong any longer. And none of them is aware of what is happening. And we find not to ask, I would say in Ghana, or mostly, you ask, how are you doing? And you bypass.
Yeah.
But it should be, how are you doing when you are watching me eyeball to an eyeball? So that my eyes that won't lie, my nose that won't lie, will show whether I am fine or not, as I'm saying. But we don't do that. It's a norm that I see you, good morning, how are you? I bypass.
Yeah.
I can't even tell what you are wearing. So now you are coiling and nobody has recognized. So you belong to a church for a month, you haven't been to church, and nobody seems to.
Yeah.
Because maybe you are not somebody's friend, all these things affect the way we relate. And then also we're thinking, if my family hears it, won't they laugh at me? Won't they criticize me? Because we are good at that. Because you didn't do A, because you did B, that is why you are not getting, or that's why you have this problem. You have called it upon yourself because we asked you to do this and you didn't. Instead of asking the question, what next? We tend to blame. So to avoid that judgment and all those things, then I'll keep it to myself.
Right.
Or those who will hear it would have their own meanings and definitions into the diagnosis and say things that are heartbreaking instead of comforting. So yeah, because she liked doing this, because she been doing that, they assign those judgment and blame, and you wouldn't want to hear that.
Yeah.
So you yourself, you pull away gradually. And then once you pull away, everybody is thinking about their life. They move on. Even if somebody will check up on you, oh, it's been a while. Oh, I'm fine. They are okay with your I'm fine. Meanwhile, person who is I'm fine has not usually been like that. We won't probe further. And this is what a psychology will do best. Probing further to know. So I always say that one person you can't lie to is a psychologist, except she doesn't, or the psychologist is not interested. We'll
go deep, ask the same question in different ways.
In different ways. So you contradict, and then we adding and subtracting, and we get there, and we'll tell you. And then when you get there, you see that the person's body language will tell you that that's what. Or somebody will say, yes, exactly what you are saying, but they can't tell you.
I see. So the struggles are real, like from family, from friends, even the things Prof mentioned, the stress. Doctor, the stress and all of that.
And everybody is stressed. Both you, the one who is having the condition, your immediate family, your husband, your children, everybody gets into the stress mood.
Yeah.
Because you are not the person they've known you to be. That's one. That's your behavior. Then the finances come in. So it becomes like everything in the family must go. And everybody worries about it. You call everybody and the family extended and they are thinking one nest. So everybody is stressed one way or the other. Everybody is financially breaking down one way or the other. Just because of one condition.
So how important is family support in helping the patients and helping them cope emotionally? How important is that?
Very, very crucial in that. Doc mentioned it. When you know you have a dozen of people around you who say, oh, it's fine. Oh, let me do this for you so that you can go for your checkup. Let me hold forth for you. Oh, it is well. You are not alone. It cushions you.
Right.
Even though in your own time you may have your struggles, but at least you know there's a shoulder to fall on. And this also go a long way to affect your finances. You know, even if I'm using all the treasures I've worked for to fight this disease, somebody will bring me food.
Yeah.
Somebody will come and sit by me. When I call, somebody will respond. That's where those who can afford paying your transportation for the reviews, for the checkups, for the labs, if they are there, it takes away some stress.
Yeah, that's true.
Somebody says, oh, don't worry, I'll meet you at Kolebu, then we go and see the doctor together. That alone, you are not putting in money, but you're putting in time, which is a resource. You are putting into your presence, which is very, very valuable. So people appreciate that. And that alone go a long way to prolong their life, even in the difficulty. So it's not just about, I'm praying with you. Yes, prayers can be done anywhere. But sometimes your presence is very important. Can I go with you? Would you like, I wouldn't want you to go. I want to join you. Sometimes some people have to receive the news and give it to you gradually, knowing your state. But if there's nobody and the news comes in direct to you, like we said earlier, it's done in the wrong way. And sometimes some doctors are not patient enough to tolerate, because at this point people are asking questions. Of course, I can bear with them that time is a factor. But because of the condition, they tend to ask questions. Whether it's necessary or unnecessary, answers will help them. And these are some of the time family members should be there. Some of the questions you throw it and a family member can help you get an answer.
Right.
So it's very important. Your friends, old schoolmates, and all those people matters. This is where we need those connections.
I want you to speak to the family members. What advice would you give to them, or even the friends who struggle to actually comfort people? You know, sometimes it's quite difficult. Yeah, when Doc was speaking, Doc, I'm going to come back to you shortly. But when Doc was speaking, Doc said that there are people that know how to break bad news. There are also people that know how to be there for people. Yes. What advice will you give to them, those who struggle to actually do that?
So what I would say is that breast cancer is all hands on deck issue. Everybody, whether I'm your friend, once we are neighbors, it matters. So this is the time I believe love must prevail. You don't love me when I have it all. You love me when I'm in distress. That is where love really matters. So if you love somebody, this is the time. If you don't have anything to say, just be with the person. Just be present. The person is seated crying, you are there. The person left the eyes and you are there. It helps the person to stop the cry. Don't say things you are not supposed to say. Then it's better you are not there. But be there. If it is finances you can support with, please do. Nothing is little under this circumstances. Sometimes it can be airtime. Okay, call this, or connecting them to the right resources. Oh, I know a psychologist this way. I can take you to, I can connect that. It helps. It helps. So all the associations and the friendship that we are building, these are some of the essence. So this is the time. The person hasn't said it. You've heard it. Don't go and ask. You can just be with the person. Oh, it's been a while. I want to check up on you. Every day you are checking on the person. You get to know that the person needs something. But if the person is gone cold, and for that matter, you also don't care. Okay, I've heard this, and she hasn't said it to me. So how do we have found out that?
That's true.
And then we keep saying, once the person hasn't mentioned it to me, what can I do? But you've heard it. You don't need to go and say anything, but you need to be there for the person. It can be water, anything that you think will help the person slow down finances at home so that they can be focused on their healthcare helps. It can be facilities that you know are doing well in the treatment and management. You can equally
so
do
the little
that.
efforts.
The little efforts that help the person know that I am not alone
Right.
is very
It's
important.
very important.
And then in the hospitals too, we have a palliative care. I think said it, I've said it, doctor have said it, the earlier the better.
Right.
For me, I always say that we all die. Just as you don't know, you didn't have control over when to be born, where, we don't have control about
When to die.
that. So don't worry yourself about you dying. I mean, it's a school we have to do, because in our socialization, it's one thing we are not discussing in our homes, and then no parent will tell their child about death, but it's part of living. There are people who have not been diagnosed of breast cancer, and they go to sleep, they don't wake up. It's the same. So whether you are diagnosed of breast cancer or not, when the time comes, you will die. So don't let. I always say that it's not a death sentence. It's how you perceive it, how you understand it, that will make it look like a death sentence or not. But if you understand death the way I understand it, then you know that whether breast cancer or not, there's death. So that shouldn't be a deal. And you live a day at a time. You live a day at a time. I believe I'll have time to talk about some of the things to prevent it and all those things.
Yeah, we'll look at all of that. But let's start talking about family and friends being there. I know that sometimes, even with good intentions, we make certain mistakes. And you mentioned that you don't say certain things that you're not supposed to say. Maybe you may want to give us examples of things that we don't have to say, so that everybody that is listening will actually get it very, very, very well.
Okay. So first and foremost, know the person you are dealing with.
Right.
The level of thinking. So if the person is the high elite class, you know how to start conversations. If the person is at the down, you know how to set the tone. Then things like it is well. It can be well when I'm in pain. It can be well when I need money to go for some labs and I'm struggling. So you have to be careful when using such words. It is well. It will be fine. All that we need to do.
I thought those are
they are good, but to who? If I'm in pain and you come and tell me it is well, you are not being real.
Okay.
So just accept that, yes, I know it's difficult. I know it's a difficult condition. I know financially things are not okay, but you are not alone.
Okay.
Should I get somebody to see if the person could help with densities? These are some of the things. But it's not, it is well, but my prognosis are not going well. As in the outcome of treatment, sometimes you even fail. You do all the therapy, chemotherapy, whatever therapy, and they come back to say, it failed. And you are telling me it is well. No, share in the pain.
Okay.
That is empathy. It's not sympathy. Sympathy is because I'm supposed to. It's painful, so I'm behaving like, no, understand from the person's perspective.
Right.
So I know it's difficult for you. Taking medication every minute is not easy. And the side effect of the medication, I know, but you are not alone. I wish I could help you, but you know I can't take it. So I'll be here for you.
Okay. Right.
These are some of the conversations
the things you can do.
Yeah.
Right. Very helpful. Let me bring Doc back into the conversation. Doc, are you still with us? Sorry. Hello, Doc. Hello, Doc. Okay. I'm sure, Doc. Okay. You are here. All right, Doc. Yeah. Oh, okay. Great. So, let me just bring you back into the conversation now. Now, I want to know how do children and spouses typically respond emotionally when a parent or a partner is diagnosed? How do they typically respond?
Well, the response is virtually the same, like what we've talked about. There's nothing different. There's that on them may not be as much as the impact is on the person. And it depends on how the relationship was before the diagnosis. So if you have a couple where they already have their issues, they are not happy with each other, I'm sure it will be good news for the one who is not happy. Right, because sometimes couples with the other person was not in their life anyway. So diagnosis like that can even be a relief for the person. You'll be surprised, actually. So they'll pretend they are not happy, they are sad and worried, but really they are even happy that those things are happening. Right? If you find a relative who is not happy with the person already, they may even think that God has answered their prayer to punish the other person. Right? And so it depends. It also depends on the relationship before the diagnosis. right? And again, from my experience working as a doctor for many years, I realized that your life before influence the response of people around you to the diagnosis. Right. So if you were someone who was very, very pleasant to the people of the family, you were helpful, you were doing well, usually you are likely to get a lot more social support when you are in trouble. So sometimes in the world, you find a lot of people trooping in and out, visiting that particular patient. And you may find another patient where nobody actually comes around. And you have to call and beg people to come and see the person. Right. So I think that the social support system depends on
the relationship.
What was what was there before the diagnosis.
I see.
Right. And if you had a very good social support, every diagnosis is painful for everybody else. But if not, then people tend not to care that much about your diagnosis.
So it's even important how we relate to people. But can emotional support alone make a measurable difference in the treatment outcomes?
Sure. There are all kinds of research that talks about, whenever anybody is going through emotional problem, the body response, the stress response actually is activated. Right. And the stress response, there are all kinds of neurochemicals that are released in the body that influences, physical health problems. So something like cortisol, epinephrine, norepinephrine, these things are stress chemicals that are released. Cortisol influences sugar control, immunity, and stuff like that. Epinephrine, norepinephrine, and the others may influence blood pressure, pulse, and all those things. Right. So the stress response is actually activated when there is poor emotional well-being. And those things are also worsens the outcome. So it will worsen BP, heart problems, it will create diabetes problems and all kinds of things. Actually, stress is a major risk factor for cancers also. So when you have someone who has a chronic disease and is also emotionally disturbed, the risk of worsening of the prognosis is higher than someone who has good emotional well-being. Right. And again, also, the risk of death goes higher when the person has poor emotional well-being, in addition to the chronic illness. Right. So emotional things are not just emotional; they influence body processes significantly.
Right, and that's why it's important to be there for your people.
Yes.
All right, so exactly 36 minutes after 9. This is the Business Breakfast on ZED 101.9 FM with me, Nii Trebi Hammond. If you just tuned in, we're having a conversation this morning about the psychological and emotional impacts of breast cancer, and just to mark the Breast Cancer Awareness Month as well, and also because we care about how your lifestyle basically. So if you want to join the conversation, please feel free to send us a WhatsApp on 0544321019, 0544321019, or you can call me on 030395661, 030395661, and then I give you the opportunity to share your thoughts or ask your questions this morning. And we're streaming live on Facebook at ZFMGH and also on YouTube at Z Multimedia. Please do well to drop a comment and we'll read your messages for you. This morning we're speaking to Lady Justina. She is a counselor and also a psychologist. And we also have over the phone lines Dr. Isaac Newman Arthur. He's a medical director at UPSA and also a clinical psychologist. These are the two people we are talking to this morning. Doc, let me come back to you. I think Lady Justina mentioned the financial bit of the whole thing, which I think is also a very big part of the stress. But do you think, or how do financial constraints, like the cost of treatment, transportation, even medication, how does that intensify the psychological distress?
Nothing is cheap when it comes to healthcare. Right, the frequency and the management and everything is a bit expensive. So it depends on your financial status. There are people who are unwell and they have all kinds of insurance policies, some financial support. So it really doesn't affect them. I know a patient whose husband had some issues and had to be admitted for quite a while at the hospital, but she was okay. It wasn't a problem at all because she has the means to actually take care of them, right? So if the person already has the means to take care of some of these health-related issues, then finance won't be the problem, right? It may drain your finances a little, but it won't be the major thing because you already have it. And if you have good social support system, you may not even spend your own money on the treatment. People will take care of the treatment, right? But if someone does not have some good financial system or support, then finance adds on to the problems. So what it's going to do is that they're going to worry about it. They're going to be very, very sad about it. They may attempt to seek help from others. And the more they are rejected from people they expect to help them, the more it worsens their psychological state. Right? Now they will fall on people they've even been kind to in the past, and they would expect some kind of help. If that help is not coming out, it may not even be the disease that will be their problem. The trauma or the psychological impact may even be from the rejection from people they think should have been able to help them, right?
Yeah.
Then again, they may, depending on their financial status, what it means is that they may even skip some of their treatment, right? Sometimes they're supposed to go for review, they may not be able to go because they don't have money for transport and stuff like that. And that will worsen the prognosis. And again, if they are part of a certain religious organization like a church, and they don't also get the needed support from that place, it means that now they may question their belief in God. They may question everything they believe in, and that can worsen the outcome. Right. So when financial things come up, the disease itself will have created some problems, but the financial issues and all the issues around health may worsen it. And at some point, their focus may be on what they are not getting than even the disease itself.
I see. Right.
And that can create a lot of problems for them.
Okay. All right, Doc, hold on for me. Let me come back to Lady Justina. Now, you were talking about the socialization issues and all of that. One aspect is also the societal pressure. Now, in Ghana, we don't quite have a lot of social support for people. How do the patients without that, and you heard Doc say there are families, people that they are at the hospitals and nobody comes to check on them or anything. How do they cope emotionally if they are not getting the emotional support from family and all of that?
It's very difficult for me to say that they will cope, but come what may, they will manage. But I think that's why we are doing this.
Right.
Just to let everybody out there know that we need each other.
Right.
We need each other at any point in our lives. So when you eat and you have leftovers, don't throw it away. Repackage it. So eat well so that the leftover won't be nasty. So that they can give to those who cannot afford. All that I'm trying to say is when you have, remember somebody might need. So in every month, put a pesewa somewhere in case of this. Then I'm going back to the church. It's not about building mansions as temples or as auditoriums, but this is a call. This is a mission that we must accomplish. Organizations. Sometimes even those organizations that help, the processes that involve in itself is stressful.
Yeah.
We can all not be the same. So, like in the church, everybody belongs to a group. Everybody is doing everybody. Not all of us will be able to and can do it. So don't think this person has been coming to church and does not do anything, so we can't. Once the person belongs, please put something down for such people.
Right.
Because when it comes to this, we can even do it to win souls.
Yeah.
The church can help. Just that I think they haven't make it a priority. The churches can help. If I talk about governance, I may be wrong because it will take a long time. In fact, our social structures, social support systems are not in existence. They exist on papers, in books,
Right.
but in practicality, they are not there. I don't want to mention social welfare for me to be, but those structures are just
Not there.
white elephant. So the social support system from the government is not there. So I'm encouraging everybody, leave a peso somewhere for some of this situation. No amount is so little.
Right.
I said it and Doc is saying it. Maybe your 10 cedi could help the person get to the hospital. Another person's 10 cedis could help the person go through that lab. Then another person's 10 cedis. It's not how big you give. Because our social support systems are not there. And families should also consider this. Don't wait for the person to die. Then we have a flamboyant, funeral. I believe we must celebrate the living, even though it's important to also cover the dead very well. But it shouldn't take much money than when the person is alive. If the person will even live the next 24 hours, put in that money, because so many things can happen within that 24 hours.
Right.
That support can go a long way to prolong the life of the person, regardless of the state the person may find
themselves.
Yeah.
Right. Now, there's also the issue of stigma. Do you think that stigma around cancer still exists in our communities?
Yes, it does.
And how does that impact the patients emotionally?
Talking about stigma, I will start with internalized stigma. The stigma that starts with you
yourself.
Is the key. It gives other people the room to stigmatize you. So you first stigmatize yourself as in, I don't have breast, so I won't wear this cloth. Then I will not go wear this cloth. I will not go for the program. Meanwhile, nobody cares. Nobody sees that you don't have breast. And nobody sees that you don't have breast cancer. You may lose your hair along the treatment, but you don't necessarily need your hair to be beautiful. You don't necessarily need your hair to be beautiful. You can still rock your beautiful life. After all, some people go for Sakura and they still look good.
Yeah.
So, it all comes to the adjustment issues, which is also a mental health issue. That is the key reason why you need the psychologist and the therapist, so that we readjust properly to our new living. When COVID came, we're all wearing nose masks.
Yeah.
It wasn't comfortable, but we did.
We had to. Yeah.
So we can survive when not doing certain things. Change of diet is not comfortable. It's difficult to adjust, because when you are going through breast cancer and breast cancer treatment, your diet must change. So you can't eat what everybody is eating. And it's okay, because people are not diagnosed with breast cancer, but they don't eat anything. It could be a lifestyle. It could be a restriction from somewhere. People are even belong to spiritual entities that makes them not to eat certain things, and they are good to go. But you need somebody, you need that family to be there and encourage you. We know there's no salt in the food, so it wouldn't taste as you expected, but it's still a healthy meal.
Right.
Let's eat it together. For me, that's how come I learned not to eat salt. When my mother was asked not to eat salt, I pitied her. I was very young at that time, and she felt her food is not nice and those things. I started eating with her.
Wow.
I didn't know much then, but I felt she eating her food alone makes her feel that way. Okay, I'll eat it. And I have come to enjoy it.
Wow.
So we should make those sacrifices. Food without certain things, it doesn't look nice. It doesn't taste as we've been trained. But with time, you'll be able to adjust. So if you're a spouse, if you're a husband whose wife is going through that is not the time you take your plate, she takes your plate. When she's eating, even if you are not eating the same meal, sit and eat your meal at the same time. Let her know that you are concerned.
Right.
Yeah, I know your food is not the way it used to be, but for your health's sake, try. Take one. Oh, you've done what today? You take 3 spoons. That's a very good improvement. Encourage the person. And I know it's not easy for everybody, but we can do it. When we set our minds to it.
Right. But so, okay, let's talk about, you talked about the importance of therapy and all of these things. How can doctors, nurses, and other medical staff better support patients emotionally? How can they do that during treatment?
It's a difficult thing to talk about because doctors and nurses are human beings with their own issues before coming to work.
Right.
And you get to work and you don't have what it takes to do your work the way you would want to. That alone stresses you. Now, your patients also come with their stresses. If you are not careful, stress meets stress. What do you think? And that is why the psychologist is in there.
Right.
So, one, the medical health professionals, when you notice you are under stress, hook up to the psychologist immediately, especially if you have it in your facility. Talk to the psychologist for yourself. Then refer patients. I wonder how many facilities doing the screening now have factored the pre-test that I'm talking about, the psychological counseling before the test and after. How many? Yet we have a lot of psychologists. Most at this time, we even do it for free as part of our contribution, but we are not included. It's part of the way we've run the system. It has been nurses, doctors, and even we don't even talk about ward assistants in the clinics, but they matters in the health setting. So I'm just advocating that from henceforth, call 1 or 2 psychologists to be there. Before they come to the bed for the screening, they should talk to. There's a company I work for. Every month, a staff must speak to the psychologist. You see, it's a way to prepare you ahead of time.
Right.
And you know, with psychotherapy, we have the preventive. So the preventive is where we prepare you towards foreseen happenings.
Right.
Because it's a sickness. It can happen to anybody, like I keep saying it. When it comes and you are already empowered or you are knowledgeable about it, you know how to help yourself than when you don't have an idea. So I am pleading that the facilities who are doing screening, maybe you forgot. I'm reminding you to include the psychological
it should be from the beginning.
From the beginning, right before the test.
Before the test.
Before the test.
Okay.
And it should be with almost all the, especially the chronic diseases.
Right.
Before the test, the psychologist will speak to you.
Should be there.
And if you experience somebody who have gone through that, you would ask yourself, why is this person not bothered about the diagnosis? Because the person is empowered. And once the person go through that and go through the test, the person is aware possibilities and how to deal with them.
Okay.
Now, after the person comes back, then we go through. I had a patient who had to go for a surgery. The person came to me because of his previous experience. The person came in and said, yes, we can do it. I'm with you. Let's go and do it. That very day, he booked for the procedure. Wow. And then we went through it. I said, I'll be there with you. Don't worry. This is all that they need. So you are there letting the person. I wasn't cut. But I made the person feel that you are not alone.
You're not alone.
And that alone kept the person that I have somebody to talk to if I'm in pain, and the person will help me go through the pain the way it's supposed to be. You know, when you are in pain and you don't have anybody to share, or nobody seems to understand your pain, it worsens the physical pain. And interestingly, what happened with the brain is that things that the brain cannot absorb, that is the stress, it distributes to the other part of the body so that it can also release itself. That is why when you are under stress, you have physical symptoms. So you feel joint pains, chest heaviness, and all that. The brain cannot take it all. Everybody takes some. Then, so it's just a mental something. But you experience it in every other part of your body. And Doc mentioned the cortisol, and then so if you don't deal with stress, it increases your cortisol levels. That also increases your sugar level. Then with one condition, you are bringing in another condition. Then once your sugar level increases, you are heading towards diabetes. The heart will also start beating because you are anxious. Anxiety comes with palpitation and all those things. And then the once the body is going through this, the brain is telling the other organs that you need more energy to fight. Then adrenaline is pushed. Then your BP keeps going high. So you see, it's one condition that if you don't manage well because of stress, it brings other health conditions. That makes treatment very difficult and prolonged. And then also I will encourage that after the month of October, breast cancer awareness and test does not end there. Walk into any health facility and tell whoever you meet there that I want my breast to be examined, and they will do that for you.
Right. Okay. Our time is almost up, and so we'll touch on a few other things, and then we can go. Let's try and give out some of the coping mechanisms. And let me start with you, Doc. Hello, Doc.
Yes.
So, yeah, what are some of the small daily practices that help patients to manage the emotional strain?
Well, one of them is daily be positive, like have a positive attitude.
Okay.
And mindset about everything. When you are positive, you may not change the outcome, but it makes you feel better. Okay. You are able to go through the management better. Then positive friendships. Build something around people who encourage and support you. Rest is also one of them. You need about 5 to 8 hours of sleep as an adult every night. So people should rest. Relaxation. Take some time off somewhere. Go relax. Think about your life and stuff like that. Exercise also helps, right? You may not be able to do rigorous exercise, but day-to-day walking here and there helps. Because sedentary lifestyle doesn't help at all. Good nutrition with a lot of fruits and veggies. You may do some protein diets and stuff like that. Being thankful is also one of them.
Okay.
Forgiveness, forgiving others is one of them. Getting involved in some hobbies that lighten your day is also there. These are basic things. Right? But it starts off with a positive mindset.
Okay.
Sometimes I tell patients that you are not your diagnosis. Right? You are more than the diagnosis. I remember there was this patient who was so anxious and worried and not happy because she had some uterine problems, fibroid-related problems. And I told her, you are not your uterus. Right? So when people begin to see themselves beyond the diagnosis, they are a bit more positive about life.
Yeah.
There are some patients, they come to us, so you don't even know that they're unwell because they dressed well. Right? They don't dress like someone who is sick. Sometimes in Ghana, particularly in our part of the world, when you're unwell, everybody wants to see that you're well.
Yeah.
So even if you are tying a headscarf, you have to tie it like someone who is unwell. You have to have some cloth wrapped around your body. Yeah. But you don't have to dress like you're diagnosed. Right. So those things actually help improve on your mental well-being.
Right.
And those are the basic things.
Yeah. Okay. Doc, thank you very much. I'll wrap up in studio now with you, Lady Justina. But Doc, are there any things you'd want to say that we haven't touched on before you go?
Yeah, I think that let me emphasize that psychological care is not an additional care; it's an essential care, right from the beginning. And to manage all kinds of chronic illness, you need a holistic approach, a multidisciplinary approach, right from the beginning. Sometimes people feel, okay, let them go and see a psychologist, as though psychologists are an extra kind of, an afterthought kind of thing. No, they are supposed to be part of the management, right? Because it's not just the drugs, but the experiences the patient goes through also is important. So I would want to say that clinics must involve psychologists right from the beginning. And again, if you are a patient and for some reason you are going through trouble, ask to see a psychologist so they can make the journey a bit more comfortable for you. Thank you. Okay. And nobody should die from breast cancer. Every woman must touch their breast once every month, right? Once every year, once every 6 months. When you get to the hospital, ask the health professionals to examine your breast. Because if we catch it very early, the recovery is 100%. The problem comes up when there is delay in diagnosis and there is delay in seeking help. And before you realize, it's advanced. So nobody should die from breast cancer if you're examining the breast every month.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. Doc, thank you so much for your insights and for joining us. Let me wrap up now with you, Lady Justina. What encouragement do you have for anybody at all that is going through what we're talking about, especially those fighting the breast cancer or someone who is supporting, or anybody at all who is supporting someone who is?
I will start with the patient, the person who is diagnosed. So, like Doc said, you are not your diagnosis. You are you. You are bigger, better, stronger than your diagnosis. That's the first point. And then attitude of gratitude. Be thankful that whatever is worrying me has a name. Once it has a name, it can be treated. You can get help. Because if I'm going to God to ask God for something, I know it's breast cancer. God, I have breast cancer. Help me. But when you don't know what is it, you go to God and you are talking. And God is busy with other things. It's like the doctors. You see? Yeah. So be thankful that whatever the situation is, it's labeled. 2, death is part of human life. You are born. A time will come, you will die. I said earlier, you couldn't control who should give birth to you. Where? When? So you can't control death. So whether breast cancer or not, you will die. Live a day at a time. Live a day as if there's no tomorrow, especially if you are diagnosed. Look your best. Even at the last stage, look your best. If you are the type who love makeup, make it up. In fact, when you wake up, be thankful that despite everything, you're still breathing on your own and look good. Look good. That you yourself, you know that you are looking good. Don't wait for what others says. It's their opinion. Whatever somebody is saying about you and your diagnosis is their opinion and they are entitled to it. But the issue is, how do you see yourself in that situation? It defines you. How you see yourself goes a long way to empower you. And know that there is always help. There's always somebody who will listen to you. Look for that person. If others reject you, it's okay. Keep on. Don't stop because I have called this friend and I've called that family member and they did it. Keep calling until you get the help. If you are a family member taking care of somebody with this situation, they become very emotional and anxious. So sometimes they become intolerant. Tolerate them. Understand that it is the situation. Sometimes the side effect of the medication, they are depressed and they are crying and crying and crying. Don't give up because they are crying. It's the situation. Encourage them and empower yourself so that you can be there for them. Sometimes you just have to be like the friends of Job. They were there 7 days without saying anything. They were just sitting. They wake up, they come and sit. So be like that. Look for help because help is there for everybody.
All right. Thank you very much, Lady Justina Owu-Agyiri. Thank you so much for joining us. Really grateful that you came, and thanks for the insight you shared with us this morning. Thank you. Please do enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Well, Lady Justina Owu-Agyiri is a counselor and psychologist at the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, and also Dr. Isaac Newman Arthur. He's a medical director at UPSA, and he's also a clinical psychologist. These are the 2 gentlemen who joined us this morning for this all-important conversation. And of course, that's how we wrap up today. We're back again tomorrow for more interesting conversations. My name is Nii Trebi Hammond. Please continue listening to ZED 101.9 FM, and I hope to see you tomorrow. When you think Ghana, please think ZED. Up next is The Impact by the Rise Up Brink Project.
Of the Rise Up Brink Project, an inspiring initiative committed